The college basketball experience Elite 8 Day 1 reaction show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks presented by WynnBET. WynnBET's now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET is what you need to win. Bet $100, get $100 at WynnBET.com or download the WynnBET app and start winning today. State restrictions apply. We're also brought to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Final Four Watch Party. Yes, me, Stacking the Money Green, Real Money Kramer, the entire Saturday for the Final Four. You can sweat out your bets and win prizes with us. Yes, me, Ryan, Sean, all on YouTube, youtube.com/the Sports Gambling Podcast. So make sure you're subscribed today.
What's up, everybody? This is Cameron Krog from Loyola Chicago Ramblers, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride. Shout out to the Broad Stop. Thank you, guys.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college basketball experience recap reaction show for day one of the Elite Eight. Early look ahead, day two of the Elite Eight. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, well, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
Woo, we've been watching all these games. Shit, Gonzaga's been rocking all day. We one of our guys would be proud. We had the Frozen Four, we had boxing, UFC, XFL, college baseball, NHL, but mainly college basketball on the Pupil. And wow, we had some good games, and we had some other games where some teams made a statement. To me, at least. I am joined by my co-host. He's back there. He's back there. He's got a sweet ass backdrop there. Give it up for former video coordinator for Bob Huggins at West Virginia and Frank Martin at South Carolina. I almost said Cincinnati. Host of the Ryan and Rush Show, host of the NFL Gambling Podcast. Give it up for Ryan McIntyre. How you doing, man?
Oh man, we only got 6 teams left. It's getting
down to
smaller
6.
and smaller every night, unfortunately.
Down to 6, and what a 6 it is. I don't think the sport's ever been healthier, but before we get to talking about that, I am joined by another co-host. We got 4. We're going 4s tonight. We're running 4s. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh.
I mean, I feel like here, I'll play you this.
Good round, you're celebrating with your appetite. Bad round, you're using your appetite to forget about the round. I'll tell you something about appetite. It's a real fucking great thing to have.
It is a great thing to have, and that's why we decided to throw on a 4th. We threw on a 4th. All right, this guy was at your local, I don't know, what's a Kalamazoo? No. Ypsilanti watering hole the other night when we were talking about him. He might have been ordering multiple sexes on the beach. All right. Host of the college baseball experience. Just a damn good guy. The guy behind the scenes for us all the time here on the college basketball experience. Give it up for Noah Bienek. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, guys? And I mean, you got to throw Colby and I in the boat of who just keep doubting this UConn team. And boy, did we eat shit today.
Oh, I'm buying in. Look, I always said the roster was good. It's not like I said, no, they don't got guys. I said the roster was good. I worry about the coaching, but holy shit, the UConn Huskies look like Patty C. Is that the 85 Bears playing? I could have swore I saw Refrigerator Perry playing fucking center for the UConn Huskies today. But then again, all these people listening probably don't have any idea who the 85 Bears are. So let's move along. I'm showing my age, but wow, holy fuck, man. I mean,
absolute domination.
Whew. I blame it on the ref. No, I'm joking. You can't blame it on the refs. I saw Gonzaga fans early on being like, the refs aren't good as a whistle. Bro, you lost my fucking 40
on tonight.
Yeah. Harris, go get that at store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Fantastic shirt. Shout out to David. I know David's a big UConn fan. He's invited us up to the wrench to get twisted. Yeah. I mean, okay. So here's the thing, we're talking here. We're just going to go right into our argument. We were having an argument pre-episode. All right. Everybody was arguing. It was a lot of fun. And I said, wait. We're doing the fucking podcast. We got to hit record. I think the two best teams remaining, and I think they're pretty clear cut to me, are UConn and Texas. I think they're the best rosters by far. I mean, both rosters run completely deep, and they're both loaded to me.
To confirm your point, there's a book that's already posted UConn's championship odds plus 120.
Plus 120. See, yeah. So, but here's what's hilarious. Yeah, you're hilarious. They would have to play each other, assuming Texas gets past Miami, which we'll get to later today on this episode. But I think those two are by far the best two rosters. So the question is, first off, we only have one team remaining out of the 6 that has ever won a national championship. That is the UConn Huskies, and they've won a few. The question we were saying pre-episode was, what would you rather have? Would you rather have, like, who are you rooting for to win the national championship? Would you rather have UConn win it again, or would you rather see one of the new schools win it? And I said, I'd be down for any of the new schools to win it over UConn, except for the University of Texas. Except for the university. Yes, I would rather see UConn, who just won a tournament 9 years ago, win it again over the University of Texas, just because I, as a college sports fan, despise the University of Texas because I think they're the real problem. They started this movement for Longhorn Network, which ended up, the realignment. They ruined all the rivalries. They even left after getting the bigger percentage. They're just assholes to me. They're assholes. They've earned it to me. The title of being a pain in the ass.
They have the highest payout of any.
They're just assholes.
Highest contract.
But they demand the Big 12 department to do this. We're going to have our own network, which, by the way, is doing terrible. They're going to demand their own network. Then they're going to demand more money than the rest of the Big 12. And then, by the way, we're going to leave you now, Big 12. Fuck you. And they're going to fuck over all those schools. They're terrible. They're terrible.
They're Richie Rich.
Yeah. I will never root for the University of Texas, right?
Yeah.
And now we're caught in this thing. And do you agree? Who would you root for? Obviously, I'm rooting for Florida Atlantic or San Diego State or something,
yes,
right?
Obviously.
But who is the one team you don't want to see win it?
The least likable is clearly Texas. It's not even within question here. I mean, you have a lot of hate for UConn that I didn't realize.
No, I don't hate UConn. It's just I've seen them win the championship before.
Which that doesn't necessarily make me hate a team. Well, I guess that's what you're saying. You don't hate them.
I mean,
you'd rather see someone else.
Well, they played look, everyone was cheating. All the good schools were cheating for a while.
Yeah.
UConn was one of them. Florida Atlantic was not one of them. San Diego State was not one of them. You know what I mean? So I want to root for them.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, so I wouldn't say
without
I
a
hate
dog
UConn.
in the fight, most people would root for the underdog.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I hate UConn. I was just rooting against him. I don't like Dan Hurley, but hey, he's winning. He's starting to be a good coach. Apparently, Noah. I'm curious because we're going to end with we'll go to Mac in a second. Who do you not want to see win the championship out of the remaining 6 teams?
I would prefer Texas doesn't win it. and then going down from there, I'd prefer UConn not win it. I think what sets
Agreed.
college basketball apart is all of the parity that we're seeing. Like this tournament is the greatest thing that sports has going on right now, and you see it right now with Florida Atlantic now dancing all the way to the Final Four. You wouldn't get that in college football because every team from the Conference USA is eliminated on week
before
0.
the season ever starts. Yeah, before the season ever starts, they say, nope, you're not worthy. Mac, you said pre-episode you're rooting for the Texas Longhorns to win the national championship. Now, I get it. You've been defending the Big 12, but I was arguing, or I don't even know if we were arguing. I was stating that I found that ridiculous considering what Texas is going to do essentially financially to the University of West Virginia and all the other Big 12 teams that I think will be making like $40 million a year when the SEC teams and Texas, once this TV deal goes in effect, they will be making pretty much double the amount of money that that the Big 12 schools will be making. But you're still going to ride with your Longhorns, which I find absolutely fucking disgusting. You filthy man. Explain yourself.
See, this is where I think I'm different than everybody is. I know those guys on the staff there. I've known them since they were in Lubbock when they were working for Chris Beard. They went over to that staff. Chris Beard gets fired in the middle of the year. Everybody's like, oh, they're done. So, like, they've been having their backs to the wall. They're not the reason why Texas is going to the SEC. And I have no problem rooting for Texas basketball because that means I control them with it's a basketball school now. So it's more, I like the guys on the Texas staff. I've known them since Texas Tech. So hook them.
Were they ever anything other than a baseball school? I don't know.
You know what?
Yeah,
That
I thought
is
just
a good
they had
point.
Roger Clemens and that's it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just find that disgusting. It's just disgusting.
I will not
University
root for
of
Texas football. I can tell you that.
I will never root for anything Texas. Texas.
He's kind of got a point though. Texas never won shit in college basketball.
Doesn't matter. The rich is still getting richer. They're making more money each round they go further.
Devil's advocate here.
Okay, so they're about to. Okay, if it Max thing comes true, they're about to win the national championship in college basketball, which that money's not yet been spent on the coach that's gotten them to the Elite Eight, and it would probably be spent more on their football team than the basketball team, correct?
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let's think about this. I know everyone talks about Nigel Pack and Isaiah Wong.
Yeah.
NIL guys. No, the whole Texas team is NIL guys. Tyrese Hunter, fucking Christian Bit, all those guys, NIL.
You know, I want to push back on you a little bit though. That's the most talented roster remaining in the field, at least from a recruiting.
No, I said them and UConn.
Yeah. But even still, let me get this pulled up. I thought I had it. Here we go.
I think
Texas,
Miami might be 3-2 on that list too.
Among top, what do you say? 6-7 scores on the team, being the most impactful players. Texas only has one dude that was a top 100 player.
Yeah, but that's out of high school, man.
I mean, that's usually a pretty good indicator.
This is a new day and age with college basketball. Everyone that watched New Mexico State last year in the NCAA tournament knew Sir'Jabari Rice was a baller.
Yeah.
They go out and get him. Everyone that watched Tyrese Hunter at Iowa State knew, holy shit, this guy's incredibly good. They went out and got him from their own fucking conference.
Yeah.
The Marcus Carr from Minnesota lights it up at Minnesota with Richard Pitino Jr. And they go get him. I mean, you can go on and on and on. Bishop came from Creighton.
So let me ask you this though: do you think Texas? It was what I was worried about with the NIL opening up for the big schools to be able to take everyone through NIL, and yet here we have what you predicted with parity throughout because the players are being dispersed throughout the country instead of being backups on the Blue Bloods roster. Obviously, last year was almost entirely Blue Bloods in the Final Four. This year,
but Blue Bloods, but Carolina was like an 8 seed last year. Yeah, so
yeah,
that's true.
Even that was quite the run. They almost didn't make the NCAA tournament, dude.
Yeah.
So
still,
I mean, same team this year.
Exactly.
They literally were the same team. They just didn't have Bienek.
Douglas, look, I take offense to your statement saying, "Wow, a bunch of Texas haters." You're probably a Texas fan, but I think it's earned. It's earned. If you go back to the 90s, I rooted for Texas football when they had James Brown at quarterback and Ricky Williams. I thought they were cool. Loved their uniforms. It's earned. You guys have been assholes. Your administration has been assholes for quite a while now. All right. I mean, that's fair, right? That's fair. I feel like we're in the circle of trust right now. They have earned every fucking inch of this.
Yeah.
It's not like we randomly said, hey, fuck Texas because they're Texas. No, it's because they think they're the fucking, they demand a network. They demand all this revenue when the reality is they have won national championship since fucking 1970. You know who has that? Georgia Tech. You know who has that? Colorado. You know what I mean? We can go one by one and say they're the same fucking thing. And you only have one national championship, and you're basically holding the sport hostage like you're some like I would understand it if it was Alabama. If it was Alabama, then I'd be like, oh yeah, they won a shit ton of championships. But for Texas to do this, I'm just like, dude, fuck you guys. And then you get the bigger piece of the pie, and you still fuck over the conference. No, fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. You've earned every bit of criticism. Do you agree?
I agree.
All right.
You're
like the guy in Major League, fly ball caught. You know what I mean? It's like
Moneyline Mac was at a point he wanted to make there.
But hey, it goes back to yes, fuck Texas's administration, and even more the reason why I'm rooting for him, so that they have to hire Rodney Terry, because they want no part in hiring Rodney Terry. They would have clearly pulled the interim tag off if they didn't want to do that. So them winning it all is going to say, fuck you, you need to hire me. And then those guys that I talked about, they can continue to have jobs at Texas.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I get it. If you're a Texas fan, it's fantastic. Maybe. Yeah. But I mean, they're in the SEC in 2 years, and 16 months they'll be in the fucking SEC.
Hey, and then they'll become the enemy.
I'm gonna remember this. All right. Store this thing away.
It's still technically a banner that flies for the Big 12. Do they get to count it?
Well, they do get some of that money. I was reading about, so Florida Atlantic is in the CUSA for this year, but starting July 1st, they're in the American Athletic. Yeah. So a big chunk of their money actually will go to the CUSA as they go. Yeah. So CUSA sitting there saying, well, we're losing this really good program, it seems like, but hey, fuck it. We're going to take a bunch of money with us. Wow. Okay, but let's talk about the other game. Well, actually break down what happened here. I mean, Timmy got in foul trouble from running into guards.
Yeah.
And really, I mean, they just got their ass whooped. There's no other way. I can't even give one area of the game where I thought Gonzaga had the edge. No, that's an old fashioned ass whooping. And UConn's done this to every single team in the tournament, except for Iona in the first half of the first game. Ever since that hell of a halftime speech, Dan Hurley, in the opening round, because fuck your team ever since then has been a fucking train. Anyway, let's hop on over to the other one then, because I don't think we could. You guys want to break down any more of this Texas Gonzaga game? I feel like we've.
So once Timmy was out of the game, the guards of Gonzaga couldn't step up. They couldn't hit shots, and they haven't. That's been the story. The whole tournament is they've relied so much on Timmy and Strother and the guys to get them the ball when it's their turn to score. So early on in the first half, Gonzaga was doing exactly what other teams do to Gonzaga. They were doubling Sanogo, and Sanogo was making great passes out of the post and up top. And he had 5 assists in the first half, and that was a career high for him. So it was UConn's guards were hitting shots that Gonzaga's couldn't. And that was the difference early on and throughout the game.
End of the half, I thought was a big sequence. I don't understand what Gonzaga was doing. I want to say they were down 4. They grabbed an offensive rebound with 20 seconds left, or maybe 14 seconds left. And I said, hold for last shot. You're going to go in worst case scenario down 4, maybe down 2, maybe down 1. Hold for last shot. No, instead they drive the lane. They get fouled. And I think the guy goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line. And then UConn, he goes, he missed. I think he missed both. And then UConn comes down and hits a 3. They go into halftime up 7.
That play at the end of the half by Andre Jackson, he was in the corner and he got, the ball handler got doubled up at the top at half court line, and it was about to be a turnover. Jackson breaks it from the corner to the middle of the court, intercepts what was about to be phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Air, dishes it to the shooter, and it went in. I think it was Caravan. It was one of the greatest plays I think I've seen that didn't mean like too much because it was just turned into a blowout after, but that was all the momentum there.
Yeah, that was a note. Like, they never looked back from that point on. I know this is the end of what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, is this typical of Timmy? I know that it's potential that he comes back next year.
Well, that's what I was just about to say. Was like,
yeah,
they mentioned that he can come back next year. Why wouldn't he?
That's what I'm saying. Where's he going?
Yeah. I mean, hold on. We'll talk about it more in a second. Hold on. Let me get us paid. I want to tell you that the college basketball experience is brought to you by WinBet. WinBet's now active in Massachusetts and a ton of other states. Be on the lookout for WinBet's Win Hour each Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. During WinBet's Win Hour, marquee games of the week will have better odds on WinBet, giving you a larger payout opportunity. And March Madness is here. There's so many ways to bet on the big dance. Sign up today. Receive a special offer. Bet $100. Get $100. Limited to state availability. And of course, for our DGens only, if you hit the biggest long shot parlay of the week, you get $1,000 free credit. There's so much to choose from, and all you have to do is head over to WinBet.com or download the WinBet app. Offer subject to change, terms and condition. WinBet.com must be 21 or over. Present state where WinBet is available. If you wish someone you know is a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. We're also brought to you by the SGP Masters. Yes, looking to hang out with Sean and Ryan at Stadium Swim and watch the biggest golf tournament in the world. You can win a 3-night stay at Circa Las Vegas to hang with the guys. The contest is completely free to enter. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/golf party. And if you don't win the contest, you can still get a discount on your room using the promo code SGP15. So grab that. Cameron Kerr is right. We do need a mic stand for Noah. We're also brought to you by the SGP Final Four Watch Party. Yes, the Final Four Watch Party is going virtual. Hang out with the guys on our YouTube channel. Yes, for the entire Saturday of Final Four action, we're going to be live, bringing you, somewhat play-by-play, but live bets, prize giveaways, and much, much more. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast, and make sure you tune in this upcoming Saturday, folks. All right, we're back. Yeah, but Drew Timmy can come back. Now I get it. He's probably going to try to enter the NBA draft. I don't think he's going to be drafted in the NBA, but possible late second rounder, I guess. But maybe like the Cam Crutwig angle. He gets $1 million in Belgium or some shit. You know what I mean? Maybe, but I would you're probably with NIL, he could probably get like $500K from somewhere in Spokane and then come back again. Why not? I would. There's all that scattered ass going through Spokane. You're still at college age. You know what I mean? I don't know. I would consider that. Do you think he comes back next year, Petty C?
I would assume so. I don't see. Yeah, like you said. I mean, I haven't seen him on any draft board projections. So
yeah. Mac, do you think he's back next year?
Yeah, I think he is in the end. I think it was a little weird that he was that emotional going out. I kind of felt like it was it for him. And then they said the vibe around the program is that it is it for him. But I just did an article on some NBA prospects left in the draft, and I got to Timmy, and I'm like, who's drafting him, man? Like, you saw him against Sonogo and Klingon tonight. When he plays these athletic guys up front that are real NBA prospects, he can't get his shot off, or he can't impose his will like he does against these other teams. I think he should come back and even solidify himself even more so as one of the college basketball greats. And maybe next year's the year that they get over the hump and he can get that ring for Mark Few.
Yeah, and DJ Cash is correct. Scattered ass is a good reason to come back. 500 grand. 500 grand and scattered ass.
Yeah. I'm reading an article from Sports Illustrated right now. $626,000 NIL valuation as of 11 hours ago.
He can probably get $1 million. He could probably get $1 million.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'm saying.
That's Pro Shop.
There's some businesses out there in Seattle.
And I agree with Clark that no team will ever draft it. Well, I won't say ever, because sometimes you have franchises, Washington Bullets and Washington Wizards, that will just use their second round pick just to get a name to get fans excited, like a name that's familiar in college.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were like, hey, yeah. Oh, man, they would do this all the time. But I agree. I don't think he's going to be playing in the NBA. What's up?
I think Oscar Tshiebwe should come back too. He's not playing in the NBA. Baycott already's coming. I think Baycott's doing the right thing. You might as well.
Baycott and Davis are back.
Yeah, maximize as much money you can get in college, because you're going to make more playing college basketball, be on a bigger stage than playing in that G League.
Who's
Yeah.
a bigger NBA prospect, Baycott or Timmy?
I would assume.
Baycott,
I would
probably.
assume Baycott.
Just as a
Yeah.
rim protector
Yeah, I think he's more athletic too.
and a rebounder.
Yeah.
What I was going to say, Mark Vital, Sinogo. That is this what happens when he faces a big athletic Timmy? He just kind of gets shut down. 12 points in the national championship game. 12 points tonight.
And they wouldn't have beat UCLA if Bono was healthy. Bono was supposed to be guarding Timmy.
Yeah,
they wouldn't have beat UCLA. I feel
wouldn't have
fairly
gone off
confident
for-
about that.
how many did he have last game? Like
37. 37, man.
Big difference.
Let's talk about well, first off, I saw some people in the chat saying add Miami to the Texas list.
No.
The Texas and UConn list. No, I want to see Jimmy. I know they did NIL.
You're talking about hate. You're talking about hate, not talent.
Look,
I think they're a
yeah.
top 3 talent team left.
Oh,
You're talking
fair,
about
fair.
hating.
Yeah,
Yes.
hate. Look, I know they got NIL, but I mean, shit, every school can do NIL. It's legal now. I don't have that big of a problem with it. But, and they have a pussy fan base, sure. But, man, Jimmy Larrañaga is our guy, man. I would love to see him get a natty, a walk off into the sunset. You know,
This is where it is hard for me because I grew up like you going to Jim Larrañaga basketball camps at George Mason. I hate the ACC. I hate Miami. But it's like I do like Jim Larrañaga. When he was dancing the other night, I was excited for him. Like I hate Miami, but like it was cool seeing the old grandpa breaking down on the dance floor. He didn't know what the hell he was doing, but
and to be considered like it's a validation. I don't think people, dude. I saw a list.
Yeah.
I saw a list where they had him as like in the Sweet 16. They ranked all the coaches, and they had Larrañaga at like 12. And I'm like, what?
Oh yeah,
I'm like, so he's still disrespected in the industry. So it's like, or at least from the national media. So like a championship would solidify him as like, hey, this guy he's actually a fucking really good coach. So in a way, I would love to see that. The unfortunate part is that they're playing Texas, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
I love picking on all the Florida fans and all that stuff. Like the whole state really struggle to show up for their teams. How about the old folks home in NYC? Colby, you're about to hit on it.
Well, that's a look. Let's be honest. If you've been to Florida, half of Florida's New York City. All right. Yeah. Half of Florida's New York City. This was easy. They have they still have their condo. You know what I mean? Like they didn't, but
it's not
kudos to
summertime
them.
yet. They haven't moved down.
Kudos to them though, because they were there. FAU K-State, another classic in my mind, is easily the best game of the day. And, I thought Kansas State, look, I love Kansas State's story. I was rooting for them to actually win the game because I love their story so much. But I did think Jerome Tang did a bad job coaching down the stretch. For about 8 minutes, well, they struggled to make a shot. They had like a 6 or 7 point lead.
Keontae Johnson also wasn't on the floor either, which hurt.
But here's my problem:
his 4th foul with like 16 minutes left too.
True. But here's my problem: Jerome Tang they had like 5 or 6 possessions in a row where only one person touched the ball. There was no movement, and it wasn't all Noel. There was a couple that it was someone grabbed a rebound and took it all the way up and then went ISO. They should have called, in my opinion, he should have called timeout in the middle of that run and said, guys, what the fuck are we doing? Do some type of sets here. Get us an easy basket. Where everyone was going ISO for the final 8 minutes of the game, in my opinion. I would, if you play back the film on that, which I'm sure I'll do at some point, I would love to count the amount of times they did not have a single pass on each possession. So I thought that's what killed them down the stretch. Even though they still almost, willed their way to a win. Mac, what'd you make of this one?
Yeah, and we talked about it pre-show. Like we both were on K-State. We both thought it'd be a close game on the show last night, but seeing how public K-State was and the number wasn't moving, I'm not gonna lie, I was scared to death going the game. I feel like I'm hoping they just win by 1 and get to the Final Four. Because I was watching the game with my brother, and he goes, because I was a big K-State football fan as well this year, because I got in on that future. He goes, I swear, if you didn't go to West Virginia, you would have went to K-State, because K-State's like my second team. I love that school, and
I've loved K-State my whole life, really.
Yes,
I mean, I feel like everyone,
Colby kind of put me on to K-State a little bit.
You gotta love them.
Love the culture.
Love them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Them and Iowa
Football,
State. I love
basketball.
both of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. Like, I think Jerome Tang, he showed that he was a rookie head coach in his first year. He's been unbelievable all year. Can't take anything away from the year that they had. Keontae Johnson was not good tonight either. I mean, he was in foul trouble throughout. Him picking up those fouls, he was a non-factor. And then
they don't use him, and they don't use him that right. I feel like, and maybe his post game's not as good, but I feel like at Florida he was more of a post threat. Am I crazy? No, I know you're a Gator fan, but I feel like they would post him up more with Mike White's offense with the Gators, whereas with K-State, I feel like occasionally he'll get in the post, but a lot of times it's like a 10-foot jumper, or we'll try to go, one-on-one because he's got decent handles for his size. Am I crazy for that statement, Noah?
I mean, we're bound to talk about this window of a very small, sample of games, because Marquise Noel got really hot. And at some point, it's like, as a coach, you're like, do you let the hot hand just continue to do him? Like, he's in his hometown. He's creating a ton of these buckets. He was single-handedly won the Michigan State game for them, and he dropped 30 tonight, and scoring's not really elite. Like, everybody preaches him about the passing game that he has and his creation of buckets for the team. Keontae Johnson is a really good post threat, but tonight, Florida Atlantic, we'll talk about them a little bit more here, but Vlad Golden did great at really just establishing a presence, and he was great in the paint tonight.
It got me thinking. Well, first off, Keontae Johnson can come back next year, which I find compelling.
I hope he goes back to K-State too.
Yeah, he should. I think he would.
Vlad Golden, I didn't realize was the Texas Tech transfer.
Yeah,
it's another Chris Beard guy. Who doesn't
I was thinking about this. This is how we got banned from Russia, guys. This is how we got banned. He's from Russia.
He kept fading FAU.
No podcasts were covering
Florida
Atlantic like us.
That much.
No, it's just that no podcasts were covering Florida Atlantic like us. So think about it. He's known in his country. They probably wanted to listen to a podcast, right? And then when I played that Real American shit, it set him off.
Yeah, triggered.
Hashtag when that triggered. Hulk Hogan music hit, it set him off.
No doubt.
Right. Putin sitting there in the fucking Kremlin, just grinding his teeth at Colby Dent.
Hey, real quick, back to X's and O's in this game. You could tell that FAU watched a lot of Big 12 film, because I love Marquise Noel. We all do. He's not a good defender. He's 5'5" probably. They list him.
Well, no, he's good at steals. He's good at steals.
Yes.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they were K-State loves to switch everything. FAU did a great job of capitalizing whenever they got Noel switched on whoever it was, these bigger guards. And FAU was just made tough plays down the stretch, man. That's a winning team. I'm happy as hell for that program and Dusty May to get to the Final Four.
Dude, I would love for them to win. We were talking about this. The VCU run to the Final Four, the George Mason run to the Final Four, Wichita State's run to the Final Four. Butler had 2 runs to the national championship back-to-back years. We also had Loyola Chicago. Butler is the only one I would compare them to, because the other ones I thought caught lightning in a bottle. Florida Atlantic's been this fucking good all year. They're really fucking this legit. You know what I mean? Like
35-3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's to me, they're on like the Butler level, or mid-major wise, or Gonzaga or something. Well, yeah, maybe Wichita, but Wichita, were they that? What was their record at the end of the year? I don't remember, but
they were a 9 seed, and that was kind of the first year that kind of put them. It took them to another level with Greg Marshall.
But there's not many mid-majors that, besides Gonzaga and UNLV, that have been that dominant. Maybe Wichita in that mix, maybe Butler in that 2-year stretch. But man, I hope they take this fucking thing down, because they're not a gimmick. Not to say George Mason was. George Mason was a fucking good team. They had good players.
They beat like 3 straight national champions.
Yeah, they were a really good team all year too. It's just the CAA had VCU and stuff, so they were beating each other up more. But
to touch on that too, I think they can get to the championship game. You look at Creighton, and they're really a 5-man lineup, and Mike Miller's now down with an ankle injury. He's not 100%. They have Golden to match up with Kalkbrenner inside. He's another big man, and they also have the depth to match San Diego State. They have some X's and O's that can really match up with San Diego State and Creighton.
I would love to see that matchup. I love watching John L. Davis. Elijah Martin had the big game today. I feel like Davis didn't have as big as a game as traditionally. And then who was it? Was it Greenlee Greenlee was hot. Man, that team's fun to watch. I love that story. Now, let me ask you this, guys. Who we rooting for? So I love, look, I'm happy if Creighton wins the national championship. I'm happy but if Creighton, if you win your national championship, spend some of that money on starting your football program. Thank you. San Diego State, if they win the national championship, very happy. Florida Atlantic, if they win the national championship, very happy. I mean, who do you think we should root for the most out of those schools, Noah?
I would probably be rooting for San Diego State because I think Mountain West basketball has the ability to take that next step. We were talking about this
I like this angle. Keep talking.
Football and basketball has the ability to take a leap over the Pac-12, in my opinion, in the coming years.
No doubt.
And if San Diego State does it, they were the first Mountain West team to get to the Elite Eight. Why not just win the whole damn thing in that same year too?
That's true. And look, I know David's in here saying if UConn wins more, it gets even more support. Amen. And look, that's why I'm not rooting for it. Look, UConn would be my second to last choice, not last. All right, not last. But to me, I was thinking about this. Besides Texas, who do you think could fuck up? Who do you think could play with UConn? I don't think Miami could. I think UConn would beat Miami by 20.
I'm looking at it right now. Miami 104 defensively on KenPom. It's so much further below everyone else in that one particular category. It's a liability.
Do you think FAU could beat UConn? I think probably not, right? But you know who I think could fuck with them? The San Diego State Aztecs. Because I think San Diego State has the athleticism and the defense to really make UConn's offense a living hell. The way that San Diego State defends the three, I think could, in the way that UConn has recently been shooting the three, I think San Diego State might be able to put the kibosh or at least limit that sum. So that would be, Dustin says, who the fuck do you think you should root for? Amen, Dustin. Amen. This is a great story. Let's be honest. I saw several people tweeting this. The college basketball game's never been fucking healthier. I saw whether it was John Fonta. I even saw Bruce Feldman, who doesn't even cover college hoops, was saying, you got to be honest. This is fucking incredible. Is this the best? And I saw some people say, is this the best tournament of all time? I think we're not. I think you would need to have an epic championship game because you look at some of those big time tournaments. They always have the epic championship game to cap it off. But I think we might be on par with the best NCAA tournament we've ever seen. How do you feel about that statement, Patty C?
I asked you a few years back what would be the ideal setup as far as the number of blue bloods, the number of Cinderellas, the number of whatever mid majors. You said I don't give a fuck. It was the right answer. It was the best answer you could have given. We didn't.
Yeah, you just want to see great games.
You just want to see the teams that win the games.
There have been so many great games.
It doesn't matter who they are, and that's what's happened this year. Last year, like we said, it was a lot of traditional blue bloods. That's what happened.
Still, some of those games were amazing, but not as good as this year.
Yeah, fun games this year. I mean, there are fun games every single year. March Madness is what it is because what it is. But when you have a bunch of teams that haven't been there, the excitement level is up for all of those fan bases. And if you've seen all the teams that are in there, it kind of dropped. I mean, obviously Duke UNC last year drives excitement up of the general public, but this is great for a different reason. And I think that was singularly fun last year, but this is amazing. Every game is really
every
fun.
game is incredible. What do you think, Beck?
I think that's such a hard question to answer because you just don't know who's going to match up in the finals. And if one team's a horrible matchup for another team and they can just run them out of the gym. Like, for example, if UConn got somebody that was a bad match, UConn could win the national championship by 30 like they did tonight.
I agree. I agree. That scares me. That scares me a little bit. It's like UConn. Look, if you're going to win the national championship, at least do it in style. Win by a game-winning 3.
I agree. But like from our standpoint, we like parity. So this has been a great tournament, and we've had good games, buzzer beaters throughout. I mean, it started with Furman to start the tournament. Yeah, I mean, it's been great.
I know Ryan says no real buzzer beaters. Furman to me counts as a buzzer beater.
Oh, that's a buzzer beater. They're down 5 with like 10 seconds and 1.
Look, David's leaving. He's going to sleep. He says, fuck this show. He's going to sleep. But I know David long time. All right. I know David long time. All right. And he's a good guy. And look, he's saying, if you guys can get to my Survivor question, that would be awesome. David, we appreciate you here, and let me load this thing up because I did see you DM me as I was in the middle of this. Let's go to this here. I have 1 of 7 left. I need help on Survivor. Gotta dive into it. But off the rip, I have both San Diego State and Miami. Who would you go with secondary? I also still have UConn. So wait, you have San Diego State and Miami. I'm trying to understand this one, David. So do you understand that, Noah?
So it sounds like he can use San Diego State and Miami. It sounds like he's already used Texas and he's already used Creighton.
Should have played UConn tonight.
Well, he says he has UConn left.
Yeah.
So he probably can use that in the Final Four. Eh?
So he's got to use San Diego State, right? The motivation side of it, the fact that San Diego State had Creighton beat last year in the tournament, that game was a wrap. They were up like 8 with like a minute left, and they fucking lost because they couldn't hit a free throw. You know what I mean? So I think that the motivation of the all off season thinking about that Creighton loss, I think you got to go San Diego State.
Let me ask you this. Creighton 21 and 14 respectively, offensively and defensively in KenPom. San Diego State 70 offense, 4 defense. It makes you think that that's not such a sure bet that San Diego State is the better team than Creighton right now, based on those numbers. I would think, obviously, in this situation, you want to give your best bet.
See, my thing is Creighton's a little bit soft.
Okay.
And I think like Cockbrenner, even though he got injured in this game last year, I think he will have a very hard time scoring on San Diego State's bigs. I also think Shireman, who was a great addition for Creighton this year, coming from South Dakota State, I think even though he's a very good 3-point shooter and a very good scorer in general, he'll be limited because I think San Diego State's defense and length will cause, and the way they defend the 3 will cause problems for them. And when you add in the motivational factor, like I said, they should have beat Creighton last year. They let him off the hook. Everyone knows that. Creighton McDermott even fucking said it in the offseason, right? So I think that gives it's more likely than Miami because I think Texas is a bad matchup for Miami personally.
So what games are off the table for him? What team?
No, I think he can only do San Diego State or Miami.
There's only 2 options.
Oh, okay.
Which is tough because I think I'm on the other side for both games. You're just kind of grasping at straws here.
Yeah.
No, I think San Diego State's going to win. I think San Diego State's going to win. I guess we should talk about these games, and that'll be a perfect lead up.
Can I mention one more thing?
What's that?
Shout out to my guy Mike White, because oh my God, he has Dusty May, a former assistant coach, in this regional final, and then his star player that can't play anymore is Keontae Johnson. He's also playing in the regional final. It's like, holy shit. Like this Florida program was like ready to run. And they wanted to get rid of him. And now he's at Georgia, their rivals. Nice little fuck you. It's
And he's got other 2 assistant coaches that are head coaches at Jacksonville, Jordan Mincy and Darius Nichols at Radford, who are both doing good jobs too.
Very good jobs.
Those were the 3 guys that were on that Elite 8 staff with Keontae Johnson.
Shout out Mike White.
Definitely shout out to Mike White. I'm eager to see what he can do with the Georgia Bulldogs. All right, before we get to actually capping these next games, I want to tell you the college basketball experience is brought to you by Talkify. Life is full of what ifs. What if Florida wasn't a bunch of assholes that were unrealistic? Well, I guess not unrealistic because they did win a couple natties, but they fired Mike White and he was a winning coach. All right. You never know. You never know what this team would have been like this year. Maybe Keontae Johnson stays with the Gators. But life's full of what ifs. So what if, you're out there dating and you're just sitting there getting cherry bombed at every fucking dive bar by your house because you can't afford going to the big bars, right? The fucking super expensive ones, because let's be honest, it's all a hustle, especially if you're just barely getting by. Right. And you keep on talking to the same Sallys, the same fucking Dianas and
barflies,
little barflies that are just, they're just, come on, they're not giving you the time of day, and you got to make them pay for that. You know why? Because you should switch up. All right. That's what winning people do. They change their fucking shit. All right. They see a weakness and they say, you know what? I'm not doing something good here. Let me call that audible.
Boom. End around.
Yeah. And then you can do, whatever. I mean, look, that's what Talkify essentially is. It's a new way to meet other serious singles. And what if they do help? That's the greatest what if. What if they do find exactly what you're looking for? because let's be honest. I mean, everyone's got has a hard time meeting great people to date these days because whether it's COVID, a lot of people's jobs are you don't even fucking interact anymore in person. You're all sitting at home talking to a fucking computer screen. So the time you do get out to the bar, you haven't talked to a human, besides your fucking dog. You've talked to your dog for a little bit, but I mean, you're just like a fucking AK-47 by the time you get to the bar and have a vodka soda. How you doing? Nice to meet you. Right. And boom, next thing you know, it's like a deer in the fucking headlights for the gal.
You're catching charges.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you got the feds investigating you. Right. Yeah. But, my point is that there's a different approach you got to do here. It's 2023, guys. All right. Your chances of going out to a dive bar and running into fucking who? Give me an actress.
Mary Jane Roddenkrotch.
All right. Well, that's always been consistent. I feel like that's been consistent.
She's always available.
Yeah, that goes back to the start of the world. I feel like, but you know what I mean. You run into who's the guy everyone wants to fuck? The actress. I don't know. Name somebody.
Who's the chick? Jessica Alba.
Okay, maybe 20 years ago, but sure. I mean, yes, everyone would still. I think everyone would still do that right now if I had to speak for the chat. But my point is that yeah, look, the days of her being at the old Charlie 2 times, you know what I mean, dive bar. Those days went kind of bye-bye after like 1965, to be honest, maybe 1980, maybe you can stretch it to 80, but so you gotta fucking try something else. Back then you could actually you'd be working with someone saying, hey, we should go grab a bite to eat. Now you can't even do that. You're working from home. You're just sitting there hacking away.
It might be a dude.
Right? You send it.
Right?
There's that.
Even at the bar, it might be a
There's
dude.
There's that. Very positive. That was happening in the 80s too. I watched Crocodile Dundee, buddy.
Yeah.
All right.
Tuck and roll.
So here's how it works. Talkify has a team. All right. So imagine this. You love SGPN, hopefully. We have a team of people that give you content, and that's probably why you like us. It's not just my stupid fucking personality talking to you all day. All right. You have a lot of different personalities. So this is the same situation here. You got a team that's going to sit there. Talkify's matchmakers are going to meet with you. They're going to learn about what you like, learn about what you're looking for in a partner. You're saying, God damn it, last time I was dating Rebecca, she never fucking vacuumed. Right. Well, guess what? They're going to say, well, jot this thing down.
Yeah.
And then they're going to go meet someone, I don't know.
Vacuum, sandwiches. These are requirements.
Fix me a sandwich, bitch. No, I'm joking.
Need the meatloaf.
Getting their money's worth here, aren't they?
Other way around. Look, and sometimes this goes for women. Maybe you want, hey, look, I've been with John.
I mean,
I dated John 5 years. He never changed my fucking oil in my car one time. All right. Well, guess what? You say that to these matchmakers, they're going to jot this down, and that's going to be a question that they ask somebody. All right. Someone out there. And that's how you narrow the gaps. You find out who could fill that void.
All our lady listeners, go get you a real man.
Yeah.
On Talkify.
There's some lady listeners, man. We have lady listeners. I've met them. So look, there's that. And look, they do background checks. All right. They're going to know. All right. Maybe you're going on a date with Jennifer. Maybe you got no idea that Jennifer's been stealing credit cards her whole fucking life. All right. She's 30 grand in the hole from the last guy, but it didn't go on her. It went on him. Right. They're going to find that out. They're going to make sure you're not getting, set up with some scumbag. All right.
Talkify doxes your dates.
Anyway, look, it's fantastic. They ask all the questions. Look, on a first date, you can't just say, so what's your credit score? You know what I mean? You can't be like, hey, do you want to try the calamari? Oh, and what's your credit score? All right. You can't do that. All right. It's like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's not Riz, as they call it.
So
how long are we going to hammer this? They
got a team. And right now Talkify is offering our listeners 20% off when you become a client. That's Talkify.com/SGPN. That's TAWKIFY.com/SGPN for 20% off when you become a client. Whew. Talkify, I expect that check in the mail. All right.
He give you a raise.
Seriously.
All right. Sunday here. We got the games. All right. I'm loading them up here.
There's only two of them.
Mike, I didn't know which one started first. I forgot. Michael Creighton's taking out San Diego State and Louisville, Kentucky. Michael Creighton's laying 2. I imagine this is going to be a Creighton fan base. I expect all of them to have read his work, especially Congo.
Is Nebraska that much closer than
San Diego? It is. Yes.
I guess.
Have you driven the fucking
You're
country?
flying either way. You're flying either way. I'm getting no one's driving from fucking Nebraska to Louisville.
I don't think
half the way to.
I
Louisville
understand that it's
Good
closer,
God, buddy.
but ultimately it's
See,
like
if I get you Talkify,
1 hour closer.
I'm looking for a woman that doesn't know geography. All right.
Well, I'm on the West Coast now. My buddy, my old roommate,
Well, I'm on the
is
West Coast where
from Orange County.
geography does not apply.
Everything
Right?
east of Las Vegas is the East Coast to a Californian, and apparently Oakland is part of Los
Dude,
Angeles to
hold
to
on.
an Orange County.
Hold
native.
on. I gotta have you. So look, I've driven the last time I drove the country, just in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
I went from Lincoln, Nebraska. I slept in Lincoln, Nebraska. The very next night, I was in Chicago, and that wasn't a. I mean, that was like a 6-hour drive. I feel like. The very next night, I went through the whole fucking state of Kentucky, and I was in Nashville. Right. So, my point is that I don't think it's that. I think they can certainly drive this in like a 12-hour drive, probably,
be
or
willing
maybe
to
like
bet
a 10-hour drive.
They're a little more diehard than San Diego State fans too.
Yeah,
knowing
of
your
course,
typical
you're in
California.
fucking Nebraska.
Yeah.
All right.
You're probably right. Blue Jay crowd.
San Diego. I mean, I don't know. Look, they're good fans though. Aztec fans are better than actually fucking UCLA
Depends
fans.
on if the surf is up or not. Let's be honest.
But anyway, after we're gonna do a geography podcast after this. All right, Dundee's geography. All right. What's easier to get to, Patty C? The people, the University of Sydney, Australia.
Yeah.
Or
Outback the geography quiz here.
I'm on San Diego State, guys. I alluded to this here. I think San Diego State has the revenge factor, and that's the X factor for me here. I also think them getting Darian Trammell, it was a huge get for them in the portal. I think it's even more important than Baylor Shireman, who wasn't in this game last year because he was at South Dakota State. I think the Aztecs get it done on the money line plus one. What is it? 116 or whatever. I don't fucking know. 120. Patty C, what are you doing here in this game?
Hold on. I didn't catch this bet. I don't have it pulled.
Two.
I got to go Aztecs here too.
Defense.
Yeah.
Defense wins championships. That's what they say. Noah, it sounds like you're going with Michael Creighton here. By the way, my wife has Creighton winning the national championship, so they probably are going to win the game. Noah, fire away.
I don't know. Like the whole Elite Eight was pretty tough for me to pick, honestly. This is the one that I felt I like best about, but I really still don't even feel good about it. I just threw a lock on it on the page just so I had at least one in this round. I think there's just so many ways that the Blue Jays can beat the Aztecs here. Like they can beat them with the 3-ball, even though San Diego State's really good at defending it. They can drive on them. They have a bunch of length on San Diego State that I think they should be able to use if, you know, the big question is how good is McDermott one day after a game compared to Brian Dutcher one day after a game? It's a little bit different than last year where they had like a full week to prepare. Like McDermott has not had the greatest tournament history, and neither has Dutcher. It's a really interesting game. I'm going to go with Creighton -2 though.
Well, let me ask you this. Experience being a factor here. Of the top 6 scorers on San Diego State, 4 are seniors, 2 are juniors. Of the top 6 scorers on Creighton, no seniors and 4 underclassmen.
They also have a lot of white guys. Give me San Diego State.
More importantly, the whole year. They don't sub in anybody, so they've played the whole year basically. That's the one rebuttal to that. You know.
Yeah. Mac, what are you doing here?
I'm not gonna lie, I struggle with this game probably the most. I'm still gonna go to Creighton. I think San Diego State, that just took so much out of them the other night to beat Alabama. They were ready to go from the punch. You could tell this was kind of like their Super Bowl. They really wanted to knock off Alabama, the number 1 overall seed. I'm going to fade that angle, but I also just think Creighton, they got it done without Kalkbrenner last year against San Diego State. I think the addition of Shireman, I think they make enough shots here on the quick turn. And it seems like, Greg McDermott, he has not had the best tournament resume, but you know what? I feel like he's getting rid of all these demons this time around. They beat Baylor in the 10-year anniversary of them getting drilled on a short turn last week. So I will take the Blue Jays to make it 2 Big East teams in the Final Four.
And I did see Dan Hurley say the Big East is the best conference. So we've got Izzo that said the Big Ten's the best conference.
I love Izzo.
Hurley says the Big East is the best conference. Larinaga going to win tomorrow. He's going to be like, ACC is the best damn conference.
Well, apparently the ACC needs to change the narrative.
Did you read that article?
Jim Phillips.
Did you read that Jim Phillips story on ESPN?
I retweeted it. It's fantastic.
20 conference games is the mistake, right? You said 20 conference games is the mistake,
as opposed to 18.
What do you mean? You get Boston College and Florida State more. You should be better with more conference games. You're better team. The conference isn't deep, Jim. It's not a deep conference. You would have more wins. You should do 25 fucking conference.
Well, maybe
games.
that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Can't really. He's saying the net is too big of a factor. The net is crap when everything is
true.
Quad 4 here.
Well, my point is though, is if Carolina was any good, they would have won more conference games because they played 20 of them. They should have won fucking at least 18 of them.
If they played more conference games, and I mean, I'm kind of shooting myself here with the whole statement, Pitt and Clemson would have had a little bit of a harder schedule. They didn't draw as many of the top teams of the conference as everybody else.
True. See, there you go. Even though Bienek,
they would be even further down.
Now you're coming around to the good side.
I've always been on the good side. I've just kind of put a stiff arm on the whole Big 12 bias thing.
Noah, the whole chat wants to know what you were drinking 2 nights ago. We had a wager. We set odds on this, by the way.
I don't know.
So,
my buddy.
Hold on. Patty C. What do you think he was drinking 2 nights ago? Noah showed. He said he was out at the bar.
So, Colby has the perfect handicap on my drinking. So with that, Patty C, go ahead.
Bienek is what? It sounds Polish potentially.
It is Polish.
Polish. Okay.
But none of my buddies really are.
Yeah, so you gotta factor that in.
But he strikes me as he's a course. He's tapping the Rockies. I don't know if you're getting that fucked up on tapping the Rockies though. You probably went a little heavier than that, didn't you? I see you as a natty ice hammer time. You're carrying the college experience with you, buddy.
Jalen says, "Are they drunk?" in the chat.
He must be new.
First time listener here. How you doing, buddy? All right.
Welcome to the fucking show.
Maybe you should grab a cocktail. Appreciate you though. Appreciate you. Subscribe. Tell a friend. Noah, continue. So what was it?
So a couple of my buddies I went out with from East Lansing, some state friends, and we got pictures of Bud Light. They were $2 for the game, so that's what we did.
He's an American. Yeah. Can we play that song? We'll get banned in Russia. I know that.
No, dude, you've been gone the past couple weeks, man. And I know we were being successful, like podcast wise, so successful in your absence that all of a sudden Men at Work came for me.
Yeah,
with the theme song.
We're out.
Fucking the Ric Flair sound drop came for me. WWF came. The fucking WWE. Vince McMahon lost all of his money. They're in COVID. He's like, God damn it, let me try to sue Kobe. It's not gonna get you very far, by the way, but
all of a sudden, if I'm not watching live and I go and watch a replay because I heard they had a whole segment on trying to guess what I drank the other night. If I go and rewatch us on YouTube, we have 7 ads in the middle of our show. Like, why? We don't need that many.
That's true, but it doesn't matter. It's still funny. All right. Look, we don't care what the other people think. We care about what we think is funny. All right. Because if you care about what other people think, it's not going to get you very far in life. Right. All right. All right.
Including Russians.
So yeah. And Mother Russia, to the people that are illegally streaming me, you think Snowden was a college basketball guy? Maybe Snowden was a college basketball guy. Maybe that was the angle.
Colby, you said you guys made an XFL soundbite. Can we get the Men at Work soundbite from like you throughout the pod or something.
Yeah,
just make.
I can do that. I can do that.
No, slapstick comedy to the Men at Work thing.
I could do that. I can do that.
From the London, that would still just be.
That's right. Yeah, let's have our own little band. We'll have a cover band.
There we go.
Daquad, shout out to Daquad. Always loyal. Appreciate you, Daquad. Says, Kobe, do you believe in UConn? I do.
Until they play Texas.
Yes. If they play Miami, I'm all in on UConn. All right, you will, and I'll see you at the finish line. If they play Florida Atlantic, I will see you at the finish line. Even if they play Creighton, I think I'll see you at the finish line. If they play San Diego State, I might have to think
Can we
about
get
that.
an official pronunciation on? Is it Creighton or Creighton? I've heard you flip flop. You're a flip flopper, buddy.
It's a joke. I'm being fucking sarcastic.
Is it Creighton?
Jesus fucking Christ!
I feel like
dude.
it's Creighton though.
What do you mean? I've been being sarcastic for fucking 5 years, right? This is
you got me confused. I'm bamboozled.
So Stacking the Money Green didn't know how to pronounce Creighton back in the day. He would say Creighton, right?
Okay.
And then I would make fun of it saying Michael Creighton. You're a big fan of Michael.
That's not beyond Sean. He's always having issues with pronunciation.
Yeah. Well, you always say, guys, Creighton's going to win this game. And he honestly had no idea. And me and Kramer would be sitting there cracking up. So it's become a thing. Like this happened in like 2017. All right. So anyway,
I just figure you're having trouble here. Hey, let's not pretend Colby hasn't had his struggles with pronunciation.
What did I struggle with again? There was a couple.
There's been a bunch.
I know. I can't think of it right now. Yeah. But now I say it sarcastically.
I know.
And I get 10 DMs a year when it's football season. And they're like,
I was
you're
when
fucking
I
this up.
started listening to you.
Anyway, yeah, shout out to Alex Crouch, all the longtime listeners that do remember. Guys, we gave sharp analysis on why we like San Diego State or Creighton. I did, at least. And now we move over to the final game on the slate. Miami, Texas, in Kansas City, which makes me ask the question, guys. Has anyone had Kansas City barbecue?
Oh yeah. Big 12 guy, man.
See, I went on a barbecue tour. I did one night in Austin where I got some barbecue like 30 minutes outside of Austin. The next day I was in Memphis and I got some really good barbecue in Memphis. The very next day I was in the mountains of North Carolina and I got some good barbecue. The only thing I left off was Kansas City, but I could tell you my rankings based off.
You
of
said
that.
Texas, Kansas City, Memphis, and Carolina.
Yeah, I didn't do. I didn't do Kansas City, but then I did another part. See what I didn't realize. So then I met up with NC Nick, and he's like, "Yeah, there's Carolina in the mountains is more hickory.
Yeah,
and it's more ginger based, like
vinegary
or vinegar. Yeah, I'm sorry, not ginger. It down in the the flatter parts of Carolina. So." Essentially, I tried 4 different fucking barbecues. Got to say, my favorite one, Texas. Look, brisket. I might shit on you with your your institution, but goddamn it, your fucking barbecue is fucking incredible. The mountains, the mountains of Carolina would be second. Memphis has too much sugar in it for me. It's too sweet. But Kansas City, I'm curious, but none of us has had. Oh no, Mac, you've had it. How is it?
Kansas City's great. I'm glad you mentioned Memphis. I love Memphis barbecue as well. Texas is good as well. I had some in Fort Worth or Lubbock. I can't remember. It was good. That's all I know.
I got married in the mountains of North Carolina, and I catered some fucking barbecue there. Like had some people show up. Let me tell you, that shit was fire. That was better than the barbecue I had on my barbecue tour. But anyway. This game's in Kansas City.
The authentic.
How you guys doing?
Genuine article.
Texas is laying 4.
So we've handicapped San Diego State, Creighton. We've handicapped barbecues for you now. Now we're going to get to the final.
Welcome to the. Oh, there we go. Shout out to Matthew Austin talking about BBQs in Greenville. I have had that, and that is fantastic too. Texas -4 is a lock. Oh, I love Gray in the chat. It goes, Pittsburgh barbecue is shit. Eat shit, Pitt. That's the type of people we like at the college basketball experience. Guys, I'm all over Texas. This is a bad matchup for Miami. It's a bad matchup for Miami, man. As much as I like Jimmy Larinaga and Jimmy, I'm going to be rooting for you. But even though I have a substantial bet on Texas, I already do. I would gladly lose my money to see them not win the national championship. All right. but lock it up. But lock it up with the Texas Longhorns -4. That's my play of the day. Patty C, what are you doing here in Kansas City?
Oh, Rothstein says more guards than Shawshank for Miami. 6 of their top 7 scorers, guards. You said Texas, long and athletic and rangy. Obviously a problem typically for smaller, faster guards, but that hasn't been the case in this tournament. Speed has beaten size, and I'm going to ride that. Miami covers. I'm calling money line Miami.
Wow.
I'm calling money
ACC Pat.
And listen up.
Yeah, ACC Pat's here.
I don't know if it's Big Game Boomer or one of these Twitter handles has got the map of who's rooting for who nationally, and all of Florida, and I want to say like half of Dade County is supposed to be FAU fans, and Miami's got this tiny little sliver. I think I agree with it.
Yeah, I think I agree.
No
with
one's
it
rooting
too.
for Miami, but you know what? I'm pulling for you, Miami.
Oh, the ACC fans are making a statement. Kenneth, shout out to Kenneth. Shout out to Nick Famalot in the chat.
There you go.
Make sure you check out his work.
He's a great one. Jordan Miller, Loudoun Valley High
fucking
School.
George Mason transfer.
Larinaga, baby.
Mac, what are you doing here?
Miami, you guys are fucked. Here's why. All of a sudden, I checked my Twitter this morning, and I got Pitt fans saying, how about them Canes? You got the Pitt jinx going? You guys are fucked. Hook 'em fucking horns, baby. Big 12.
What
They dominate Kansas City, man. They beat Kansas by 20. They beat TCU by 10. They beat Oklahoma State by 15. They just beat Xavier. I'm going to look to alt lines. I'm going to ladder this thing up. Hook 'em horns, baby, because the eyes of Texas are upon you. Eat shit, ACC.
For a second, I thought you were really vomiting.
I'm close. I'm close.
Dylan Disu is a game time decision, folks. I see the chat asking if he's going to play or not. So, Noah, please
lock it up.
Fire away. Yeah. Okay. Max locking up Texas. I'm locking up Texas. Patty, you locking it? You're going to sit there and dance around this fucking thing all night.
I'll lock up Miami. Fuck you guys.
Oh yeah. Lock battle.
Noah, before I play this music,
let me tell you what, Virginia, even though they had a tough out in the first round here, they had a good year, and Miami straight up beat them this year. And I've been watching this team for a while. Isaiah Wong, been doing it for a long time, and he's got the seniority, the leadership.
And you were going to say ACC was in 2 of the last 3 national championships.
That's true. If you want to change the narrative, do it on the court.
Yeah. How about win a fucking game? Let's go. Hook 'em.
Noah, what are you doing here, brother?
All right. So Mac's down to his last Big 12 team. He's clamored for every one of them to get there.
And they're not even a Big 12. They're like they're part-time Big 12
got
team.
another year.
Yeah.
So all of
Max basically being the guy that gets like he's dating the girl and the girl is fucking every guy in town, and he finally finds out, right? His heart's broken, and then he runs into her at the bar 6 months later. It's like, I love you, baby. Let's get back together. All right. That's essentially what's happening here with him going, going in on Texas.
He's getting that pussy on the way out the door.
Yeah.
This is like the Last Dance. It's like, hey, you got 1 year left on your contract. You better fucking come through for us, and then you can get the fuck up on out of here. You're horned up or down, and then in a year from now you're down again.
So he was all over Kansas. Then he jumped on Kansas State, and now we have Texas left. And his whole angle on fading Miami was this morning when he woke up. Somebody, a Pitt fan on Twitter, started bragging to him about how the Canes upset Houston. Well, what do they think about a West Virginia guy back in a Texas team? Like West Virginia is like 6th in the conference, exactly where Pitt finished this year. What do you have to say about that one? Shots in the ACC. And how about this one? He cues up Gray in the chat going Pittsburgh barbecue's shit. I never backed it. Like Pittsburgh barbecue is not great at all. But
I don't know that I've ever had Pittsburgh barbecue.
I don't think there is.
It's probably shit like that old city.
I've been to Pittsburgh a lot of times, but yeah,
you can eat a Roethlisberger in Pitt. That's about
we
it.
have a great rib fest, and there's a lot of stands from everywhere that come into town for 1 week in August. And I've had Kansas City barbecue, I've had Texas barbecue, but you know what I liked most? Nags in the chat from Detroit as well, I assume, because he's got the icon Carolina. ACC country had the best barbecue, in my opinion.
No,
I'm swaying my pick now. We got to go 2v2 on this pod.
Oh, he's Benedict.
I'm taking Miami. I never Benedict to this. I tweeted out my pick this morning.
There we go. 2-on-2.
I'm with
Let's go.
Timmy the Herd.
You down.
Jimmy
We got
Larinaga
a
sold me
battle.
everything. Kelvin
Let's
Sampson.
go.
We ranked Rodney Terry 16th, Larinaga 4th. Give me the better coach in this
Boom.
battle.
Oh,
Let's
there
go
we
with
go.
the
That's gonna
James.
factor, baby. That's gonna factor at some point.
Carolina barbecue is fucking amazing. Look, when I
It was
look,
great.
I wasn't trying to discredit them saying that I like Texas more on that particular trip. Maybe I went to the wrong Carolina place. It was still very good, but the one I got at my wedding was fucking incredible, man. It was absolutely incredible. But
Call me a pussy, but
you don't like barbecue.
the vinegary barbecue. I got the kid taste buds. Give me more.
You want the
sweet.
Memphis one.
Give me that
Memphis,
sweet shit,
dude,
baby.
Memphis. I went to a great barbecue spot in Memphis. Met the fucking owner. He invited me out fishing, but I was like, dude, I don't know, I don't know. He was like, let's go fishing in Mississippi tomorrow, and I was like, well, dude, I don't know about Mississippi. All right, I'm terrified of everything in fucking Mississippi.
I
all
saw.
right?
If you want my true analysis on this one, I don't think Texas has a matchup for Norchad Amir. I think he's going to be the best big on the floor, and I hope that Miami abandons the guard game and goes to Amir down low.
Hey, you got to fade the Larinaga shuffle. Just like you got to fade the Musselman shirtless. You can tell Larinaga, the old folks home, was out of his element to shuffle.
All of
You got to
these
fade that.
damn-
Yeah, Matt Austin bringing up a great point. Miami's got a lot of guys that they went to the Elite Eight last year.
They're hungry.
That's a good point.
Beating
Who'd
that
they
one
lose
seed
to?
doesn't
Good
mean
point.
much to them this
Who'd
year.
they lose to?
They lost to Kansas, who's not there this
right?
year.
Yeah,
They're not
How
there.
many?
oh, he's
They're
flexing the
not
Big
there.
12.
Hey,
Let me
they were
ask you
up in
this.
the
What
first half.
league is Kansas in?
They were up in the first half. They
Yeah,
were,
they lost by 30.
they were up in the first half.
What program is more likely to fade in this moment? Texas basketball or Miami basketball?
Ooh, they're the same football team. So I mean, like they come in with a ton of hype.
But
they
I
always
feel
go
like
like 6-6.
Miami basketball hasn't been here, so there's a chance they get scared of the moment.
No, they were at the Elite Eight last year.
But it's just not part of their history. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? Although yes, that experience factors. But Texas has gotten close a bunch of times. Well, actually, not much lately. It's what is it? First Sweet 16 in like 15 years recently. But they're a program that should be there.
Yeah,
but they consistently choke.
yeah.
This would be a
I don't
great
know.
Cheez-It Bowl.
Yeah, right.
All right, folks. Those are our picks. Subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. Make sure right now. I see how many people are watching. Subscribe, please. The real way we get paid. So the more you like the Talkify ads, we want more of those. Real way we get paid is when you download the podcast, right? Subscribe. By you subscribing, it gets us a download when it goes, even if you don't even fucking listen to it, even if you're watching this. All right. So damn it, subscribe. All right. This isn't one of those fucking things. What are they? 12 CDs, 1 cent thing back in the day. That's like a pyramid scheme. We're not doing that. We're not going to hit you for shit later. You know what I mean? So please subscribe to the College Basketball Experience, subscribe to the College Football Experience, and subscribe to the College Baseball Experience. Those three, we come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the College Experience. And also, like Yvetta says, drop a like, folks, and subscribe. There we go. Also, give Patty C a follow on Twitter at Patty C831. The guy does it all here. Look at him over there. All right. And also check out Moneyline Mac's work. All right. NFL Gambling Podcast, the Ryan and Rush Show. Give him a follow on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. Noah Bienek's on Twitter at 77NB, and he hosts the College Baseball Experience. Noah, I watched some college baseball today, and guess what? My ECU Pirates flushed the toilet on George Mason. Let's fucking go. All right.
Saw the Wahoos get one done today too.
Yeah, there you go.
Little walk off.
Frozen Four. Who's winning, Noah?
State.
Daquan's been asking us who's winning it all in college hockey.
Well, I went 2-1 on the first round picks. My pick to win it all just lost the number 1 overall seed, so it's not
All right.
all
right, so then I'll pick one.
Big L. So I had St. Cloud State winning it all. They lost to Minnesota. Minnesota dressed up the score at the end. It was 2-1. They got 2 empty netters.
Look, I'm on the Golden Gophers. They got 10,000 fucking lakes up there. They've been playing hockey on those fucking lakes for fucking hundreds of fucking years.
Frozen year round.
All right, even when let's go.
Texas and Miami playing hockey?
No, I don't think so. Right?
A lot of the SEC Big 12 schools, they have D2 teams that they're hoping to build the program and get them into D1. It's a lot of money to get into D1, actually. So,
wow,
that's big money.
Deep dives.
Well, I will say this: Texas stole Minnesota's real team, the North Stars. Ouch!
That is true.
Bullshit.
I'm still mad about that. And they come back with the Wild. We're called the Wild. What the fuck kind of name is that? You had the North Stars, and you come back as the Wild. Who's making your decisions over there? They haven't had a cool sports name in a long fucking time since the Iowa Barnstormers in arena football.
Minnesota's logo is pretty cool. It's slept on. The Wild. It's the face of a like a cat. And
oh my fucking god! Oh my god! You're called the Wild. You're called the Wild. That's the worst fucking name.
Like,
it's like the Washington
an
State
actual
logo.
entity.
WSC in there.
No, but Washington
really
State's
cool.
called the Cougars. All right, you can't. You're called the Wild. That's a terrible name. All right, they should be fired. If I was the head of the fucking NHL, I'd get rid of that name tomorrow.
Wild isn't gonna kick your ass. Wild isn't a thing.
I hate names like that. Like we're the Orlando Magic. We do magic, right? Like what the fuck is that?
The next NHL team's name that's going to get canceled is the Predators because they're thinking that all the children out there need to take cover.
Oh, I'm surprised they haven't came for that one yet.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't came for that one yet.
Think of that one.
Yeah, that's a great point, folks. We'll talk more about this on the next show. Get the SGPN app for free in the App Store or Google Play Store. Also, please the college we talk all these games in the Discord. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/discord. Pitt's idea of high level cuisine is putting French fries on a sandwich.
It's amazing. It really is.
It's a great
ideas over there in Pittsburgh.
All right,
I can't wait
folks.
for the backyard brawl.
Oh, I can't wait either. I can't wait. Until next time, this is the college basketball experience. You better start thinking about yours, and we out of here.
Yeah, it's got me thinking about the good shit. The minute that I seen your grill again, it made me good trip. Good dog the mind back like dog rewind that. Man, I didn't get mad when you near me hit the can back, but the comings on was strong. Now my shit's coming along, you know the song. The truth is I'm pretty much on fire again. It's heating up for real, I'm alive again. And that's the attraction factor. Vancouver, Michigan with my rap disaster. Yeah, you know you want it how you want it. No need to trip cause I got it, got it. It's all yours and the extras too. All the super music and the sex for who? Just get it straight cause you caught me in a good mood. Let me demonstrate what this time of year could do. Yeah, sing it.